Docker lifecycle explained in detail. The Docker lifecycle refers to the series of stages a Docker container goes through from creation to removal. Understanding this lifecycle helps in managing, debugging, and optimizing containerized applications. Build. Description. The lifecycle begins by creating a Docker image using a Docker file. This file contains instructions on how to assemble the image, such as installing software, copying files, and setting configurations. Command. Docker build tmyapp latest. This creates an image named myapp with the tag latest. Output. A Docker image stored locally or pushed to a registry, like Docker Hub. Pull optional. Description. If you're using an existing image from a registry, like Docker Hub, you pull it instead of building it from scratch. Command. Docker pull nginx latest. This downloads the latest nginx image from Docker Hub. Create. Description. A container is created from the image, but not yet started. This sets up the container with all configurations, but keeps it in a stop state. Command. Docker create. Name mycontainer myapp latest. This creates a container named mycontainer from the myapp image. Output. A container ID, but the container isn't running yet. Start. Description. The container moves to the running state, where the application inside starts executing. Command. Docker start mycontainer. Starts the mycontainer that was created earlier. Alternative command. Create and start in one step. Docker run. Name mycontainer myapp latest. This creates and starts the container in a single command. Run active state. Description. The container is actively running, executing the application or service. During this phase, you can interact with the container, monitor logs, and manage processes. Common commands. View running containers. Docker ps. Access the container shell. Docker exec it mycontainer/bin/bash. Pause optional. Description. Temporarily suspend all processes in the container without stopping it. Useful for maintenance. Command. Docker pause mycontainer. To resume the container. Docker unpause mycontainer. Stop. Description. Gracefully stop the container. The processes inside the container are given time to shut down properly. Command. Docker stop mycontainer. This sends a sigterm signal to terminate processes, followed by sigkill if the container doesn't stop in time. Kill, force stop. Description. Immediately terminate the container without a graceful shutdown. Use this when a container becomes unresponsive. Command. Docker kill mycontainer. Sends a sigkill signal to forcefully stop the container. Restart. Description. Stop and then start the container again. Useful when you need to apply updates or reset the container's state. Command. Docker restart mycontainer. Remove, delete. Description. Permanently delete the container after it has stopped. This clears up system resources. The data inside the container will be lost unless stored in volumes. Command. Docker rm mycontainer. Build. Description. Create a Docker image from a Docker file with all necessary configurations and dependencies. Command example. Docker build tmyapp latest. Pull. Description. Download an existing Docker image from Docker Hub or any other container registry. Command example. Docker pull nginx latest. Create. Description. Create a container from an image in a stopped state. The container is configured but not running yet. Command example. Docker create. Name mycontainer myapp. Start. Description. Start a previously created container, moving it to the running state. Command example. Docker start mycontainer. Run. Description. Run a container by creating and starting it in one step. The container becomes active immediately. Command example. Docker run. Name mycontainer myapp. Pause. Description. Temporarily suspend all processes inside a running container without stopping it. Command example: Docker pause my container.
Stop.
Description: gracefully stop a running container, giving processes time to shut down. Command example: Docker stop my container.
Kill.
Description: forcefully terminate a container immediately without a graceful shutdown. Command example: Docker kill my container.
Restart.
Description: stop and then start the container again. Useful for applying updates or resetting the application. Command example: Docker restart my container. Remove. Description: permanently delete a stopped container to free up system resources. Command example: Docker rm my container. Final notes: images are reusable. After building an image, you can create and run multiple containers from the same image. Containers are ephemeral. They can be created, stopped, and removed as needed without affecting the original image. Data persistence: use volumes if you need to persist data beyond the lifecycle of a container. Understanding the Docker lifecycle helps optimize resource usage, automate deployments, and streamline container management.